What up, guys? Mad Scientist 7890 here. Gonna do something different. Gonna do some audio here on this one. So we'll see how it turns out. But with this one, it's gonna be a kind of a different thing. It's gonna be an in the lab video, but it's gonna be two topics here in particular that I really want to talk about, and they kind of connect to them, each other. So that's gonna work out. The first one is my thoughts on Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett, in my personal opinion, I feel like is the most overrated wrestler in all of the WWE. That's just me personally. I think he's an okay talker. I think it's just, because he has kind of an English accent, he comes off a little bit better. But he does, if he didn't have that accent, he probably wouldn't sound near as well. And then he's extremely green in the ring. I don't find his ability in the ring that great. And he looks the part kind of, but he doesn't look like a superstar. And I feel like he just doesn't carry himself as a superstar. The concept of Nexus, was to cause a stir and to cause a lot of things, but for the most part, it really was to get over the guy who won NXT, Wade Barrett, and really give him that push, which the concept was great. I think but I don't think it should have been him. It should have been somebody else. Somebody else should have, taken that spot. Maybe Daniel Bryan, somebody else were worked out. But I think the Nexus angle really, for the most part, was to cause a stir and to really get Wade Barrett over. And me personally, I kind of liked Wade Barrett when he was running Nexus. I thought that was cool. But and then when he branched off a little bit and kind of did core and some other stuff, I really started seeing flaws in his game and just holes everywhere. I know a lot of people really like Wade Barrett, but I cannot stand him. I don't think he's that great. I don't think he deserves the push he's getting right now. That's just me personally. If anything, I really think he would be an absolutely great manager. He's like I said, an okay talker. Maybe on doing commentary or something like that. But I personally do not feel like he deserves a main event push. And if somehow he goes on to Wrestlemania and faces the Undertaker, that is just absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. I do not want to see that at all. I think that's completely ridiculous. This is just my opinion on Wade Barrett. Let me know what you guys think about Wade Barrett. I know there's some fans of him out there. Some people really like him. But I'll tell you my personal opinion on Wade Barrett is that right now his spot, the guy that should be in his spot, in my personal opinion, is a guy named Drew McIntyre, who I feel like is a lot better in the ring. He's a decent talker as well. But I think where Wade Barrett is right now is where Drew McIntyre should be. Drew McIntyre's not getting a push at all. But, I just find it interesting because I think Drew McIntyre is a lot better than Wade Barrett. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think on that with Drew McIntyre. Now, this leads into the next thing. Wade Barrett, like I said, I don't want him to face the Undertaker. So, who should the Undertaker face at WrestleMania? And the answer is actually really simple for me. I had it mapped out in my head on how I would want this to go down. And it's simple. It's Cody Rhodes. There's just no doubt in my mind that it should be Cody Rhodes. It should be Cody Rhodes. It should be Cody Rhodes. The evolution of him getting to where he's at now is so different and so interesting to me personally. I find it, crazy that, a lot of times, and I've talked about this before, guys like Cody and guys like Ted DiBiase and other guys, get into the business or get into FCW just because of who their dad is, And I think, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The person, comes in and does a lot of great things. Look at Randy Orton. He's one of those guys. But I think, those guys that come in just because of their dad, who their dad is, will always be stuck with that. Oh, I'm here because my dad got me into the business. I'm, on the WWE roster. I'm wrestling on the mid card or the low card or whatever it is because my dad's here. A lot of people felt that way about Cody Rhodes. Now you look at Cody Rhodes, everything, he got into the company because of his dad, but everything he's doing now is because of himself. Is because of everything he's doing. He's playing a great character. He's a great wrestler. He has an amazing look. I'm sorry, everybody, but this guy is going to be a major superstar. I know some of you guys are on my boat. Some of you are not. But, I truthfully feel that somewhere down the line that this guy's going to be super huge. You know, I thought when he went to SmackDown, and I thought, you know, it's interesting because I thought, okay, you know, Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes are breaking up. A lot of people are like, oh, this is time for Ted DiBiase to really shine. You know, Cody Rhodes, he may do something. I always thought in my mind, I'm like, hey, you know what? I think Cody Rhodes might blow up. I think actually Cody Rhodes, you know, seeing his little thing he did with Legacy and seeing his little thing he did at WrestleMania in that triple threat, you know, really showing what he could do and where he could, you know, go to. And it's interesting because later on he went and did the dashing gimmick. The dashing gimmick, you know, I thought was great. I didn't think it was going to be huge or anything. I thought it would just be, you know, a cool little thing for him to do. And then them running with, you know, the guy being, you know, he being too pretty to get hurt, you know, and got, you know, hit by Mysterio's knee brace or whatever with a 619, messed up his face and did the whole face mask and did the whole, you know, Sith Lord type thing where he was covering his face and, you know, doing that and playing that character was very good, but at times it was cheesy. And if you guys, you know, have been following me for a good time, you know that one thing that I really enjoy is good characters in wrestling now, because there isn't any. There isn't any good characters. Everyone's just, you know, we may be leaning more into a wrestling era with WWE coming into the future, but the one thing that I really look forward to is, you know, characters and gimmicks. And I think that Cody Rhodes is one of those guys, you know, if I want to watch just amazing, great wrestling with no characters or, you know, none of that stuff, you know, with realism, with all that stuff, I can click on a Ring of Honor or a PWG show. That's simple. But characters in wrestling to me are important. I think it's easier for a person to tell a story when they have a gimmick. So, I mean, Cody Rhodes' character now, you know, is basically a combination of, you know, his dashing, you know, Cody Rhodes and the undashing character, you know, basically being that cocky, arrogant heel, you know, basically, but being the pretty guy looks again, you know, and bringing back the old school Intercontinental title, which I thought was a great move. You know, I truly feel like, you know, they really are trying to, and I said this in a video for Sunset Flip, that the Intercontinental and the U.S. titles, I feel like, are almost more important than the World and the WWE title, because they have them on one guy for so long, and they're really trying to push these guys. And I think Cody Rhodes taking that old school title just shows that he's willing to try to bring back the Intercontinental, you know, title to where it used to be. He's probably been one of the most worthy Intercontinental champions in a long time, you know, from the, you know, way he's carrying himself to, you know, looking at him right now, you're going to be talking 3 or 4 years down the road when he's a world champion a couple times, 3 or 4 times or whatever, and being like, oh yeah, that Intercontinental run when he had the white title, that was amazing. I saw it then that he was going to be great, and that's exactly what I see now. You know, I almost see like the Shawn Michaels type thing, where Shawn Michaels had the Intercontinental title and made it that world title scene, and you went back and looked at his Intercontinental, you know, stuff, and it was great. This is how this is going to be with Cody Rhodes. I truly feel like that. So that's why I feel like Cody Rhodes is a guy who, you know, should face the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Now, keyword I said face. I didn't say beat, because I don't think the Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania should ever be beat. I think that's something that should never be beat at all, no matter what superstar you are. Does not matter. It should not be beat. But I feel like, in my personal opinion, that you know, facing such a big legend at a WrestleMania is more. I feel like it's more, not more important, but you know, how much other people, how much other wrestlers and the company respects you to put you in a match with a guy like the Undertaker, because somewhere down the line it's inevitable that Cody Rhodes, you know, probably will face someone for the world title, and he probably will win it, either WWE or world title. It's going to happen, no doubt in my mind, unless he gets injured or something, which I hope doesn't happen. But you know, getting in the ring with a legend like the Undertaker seems to me more important. Even if you lose, it's such a big honor, such a big push. You know, nowadays with, you know, the 2 matches against Shawn Michaels and the match against Triple H, you expect a big name guy to get in there with the Undertaker, and, you know, showing how much WWE cares about Cody Rhodes, putting him in there against the Undertaker, even though he loses, have him win valiantly, you know, and tell his story. I think that would be amazing. So my vote, I hope, which I don't think will happen, but I hope Cody Rhodes goes on, faces the Undertaker at WrestleMania. That would be just a great, great move. So yeah, like I said, this is just an audio. I wanted to try this out. Let me know what you guys think on this. Like I said, I'm the mad scientist. I may do a couple more of these, you know, see how they work out. But yeah, like I said, mad scientist, and peace, guys.